Inside Joke. I'm John DeCoven, your host. Today we have Michael Slack, who just did a killer set here with, he was competing with a raffle we had going next door.
I was slightly better than the raffle.
We had Jim Kruger hosting. Who else did we have? Since Jim forgot everybody's name.
Who did we have?
We had Drew Bolts, who was great. Richard Kiss.
J.R.
Bennett. Some guy, John DeCoven.
He sucked.
He was horrible. You know, this is kind of like we like to get. It's getting to know the comic. And
am I gonna break down and cry?
What I like about this is actually this is the first one I'm doing. Well, second one I'm doing where actually somebody's close to my age, because most of these other guys have been young. You know, they're still eager about comedy. They're not.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So,
they'll learn.
What inspired you to get into comedy?
Oh.
What was the impetus into your?
I had nowhere else to go. It was almost like that horrible scene from
How long ago was it?
This was late 2001.
Okay, so
those were funny times. Those were funny times.
Right after 9/11.
It was actually slightly before, just like a couple of weeks before.
Okay, well that's funny because I actually kind of got into comedy at the beginning of 2000.
Ah.
And my wife at the time, who I was married to, is Iranian and Persian.
I remember.
And I had all these jokes.
Oh yeah.
And then 9/11 happened, and I couldn't do them because you know they were.
But you came out with whole other jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I'm sorry. This is about you, not me. So 2001.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was at the point. I had been laid off from a job. You know, it was a layoff. It wasn't like I was fired.
.com? Were you involved in that?
Yeah, it was. Well, it was not directly a .com, but it was just the economy was kind of tanking at 2001, and then really went downhill at the end. But so I was laid off. You know, so I was unemployed. The economy was bad. My father had passed away like 2 years prior to that. I just got out of a bad relationship. It was like everything was just down.
All the necessary ingredients for a comedy.
Yeah, I just got them all at once instead of as a child. But and I'd always loved comedy, and I'd always kind of watched stand-up and kind of studied it, and I'd always wanted to do it, but I never had the nerve.
Okay.
You know, and I was at such a low point in my life. I just realized, you know, well, I don't want to be here in another 10 years still going, you know, what if I tried? So I tried. And I'm still trying.
How did you try? I mean, did you just see an open mic? Did you take a class?
Well, I went to, I don't know how, I think I got on the internet.
They had that back then.
It was smoke signals, but we call it the internet. Yeah. But I think Al Gore had just finished it. It was still not perfect, but you know, I Googled around and I found the San Francisco Comedy College, and I called Curtis Matthews, and
we'll bleep that all out.
Yeah, well, I thought you were leading me into that.
No, I'm just kidding. I always just like to fuck with him.
I just had a vision of you fucking with him on camera, and I just thought, that's weird.
That's terrible.
And then, you know, the rest, we were just talking about this before the cameras rolled, but the first time I ever did comedy was at the Rose and Crown in Palo Alto, which is a bar. And I didn't tell anybody about it, you know, I didn't tell any friends or any family. I just wanted to test the waters a little bit.
Was this before you went to SFCC?
It was during. It was just the first week or two.
Because I remember going, and I'm trying to remember who I went with, but I was scared to do it. I mean, I went, and then I saw one guy get up there and bomb, and I was like...
It was an intimidating place. It was an intimidating between the crowd, which was I don't know if it was I really didn't do it that often, but it was the crowd could be tough sometimes. There were some really outstanding comedians, because almost everybody in the Bay Area went to the Rosencrantz. So talent-wise, it was intimidating to me as well. I saw all these people who were funny. But I went and I did it, and I tanked. I had a bad set. Kind of like
just like that. Just like that, like your disc man off the stage this evening.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was awkward.
I'll fill that in. Oh no, I didn't have it on tape. Well, you could send it to me. you
It was, I don't know what happened there. It was usually, I don't know, usually they pick up in the plot at some, there was something in there.
You were working and doing comedy, and then at some point I know you moved to New York.
I moved to New York in 2007.
Oh, okay. For some reason it seems like it was longer than that, but okay.
2 years ago.
And because you made all kinds of money, from what I understand.
Oh, not in comedy.
Not in comedy. And no, I don't know if that's true, but you decided you're going to go to New York and give it a go, kind of thing.
Yeah, that was it. It was. Yeah. I had a nest egg, and I decided, the time was right to at least try.
Okay.
And now I'm back here in the Bay Area. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
The nest egg is gone.
It's like, have you ever seen Lost in America? It just reminds me.
Could have been somebody, Charlie.
New York and here, what would you say are some of the differences between?
Well, I said California is different from New York.
Really? You know the difference between New York? Okay. No, doing comedy. What do you think is different?
Well, in New York.
Is the attitude different?
Well, the attitude's there. I kind of went to New York. First, I decided, people asked, why didn't you go to LA, instead of New York? First of all, I like the city better. I just like New York City better. I don't think LA is a really stellar city. I'm sure it's fine if anyone's from LA.
Yeah, I'm from LA.
Oh, it sucks. No, it's just I like the fact that New York is so compact. All the comedy clubs are like there, and you can go from club to club to club. In LA, you're in your car to get to that many clubs. And I was hoping New York would give me more of an edge, because I felt like, the comedy was kind of, it didn't have as much edge as I wanted. It was a little fluffy. So I was hoping New York would give me that edge, and so I do think it's a little edgier in New York. There's thousands of comedians living in New York City, so
Were there any paying gigs, or were these
in New York
like...
City, paying gigs are hard to come by.
Okay.
There's stage time there, so I worked a lot on the road. I was out driving around. We kept a car, so I could drive up and down the East Coast and out to the Midwest. I worked the road a lot.
So you did some road work.
Yeah.
Right.
But paying New York rent. So that,
right. So like where?
As far east as as far east.
I don't even know my geography, so
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm asking.
As far west as Illinois, I would drive all the way out to central Illinois. As far south as Florida.
Wow.
And as far north as northern New York State.
So now you're back here, and what's going on with Michael Slack right now, besides being in Dublin?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I just did a show in Montrose. I'm trying to get out there, and I'm picking up a lot of one-nighters, and I'm starting to book some weekends.
Are you working or just doing comedy?
Just doing comedy.
Okay.
That's not gonna last long. It goes back to that nest egg issue. So there's a good chance that you'll see me.
I heard the job market's a little tight, though.
I
heard that. And so you're doing some road work. What type? Where?
Well, just one-nighters. Doing a lot of one-nighters, doing some private things, and just starting to book some club weekend. Just booked a club weekend coming up.
Right.
Competitor.
Yeah, I don't care.
I got a Roosters weekend coming up.
Yeah, so there's no competing.
I
I love Roosters. We're going there tomorrow.
Oh, are you?
Going to see Jimmy Pardo, one of my favorite comics, besides you, of course. In case you didn't notice, I'm not a professional interviewer. I do this totally off the cuff.
I'm not a professional
comedian. We see what happens. So thank you.
Thanks,
It was
John.
great having you here.
I love being here.
Inside joke and.